Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. I wanted to talk a little bit further about what I started yesterday. The emotional eating that is actually never about the food. It's not got to do with the food at all because food is it can be a punishment, it can be a painkiller, but it's for most part, food is a suppressant of the emotions because your emotions are in your gut. I can't change that. That's the center, your solar plexus. That's where your emotions reside. So you want to suppress the emotions, and you are taught, you're educated in using food to suppress your pain. Um, it started out usually with physical pain when you hurt yourself, you fell off your little bike or whatever. You were playing outside and you slipped, you fell off the swing, or you fell, whatever. So at that point, your mother, or caretakers for the ease, let's just call it your mother or your father, wanted you to stop crying, yeah, wanted you to comfort you, wanted to soothe you. And this is this is going back to the reward system that Don Miguel Ruiz in his book The Four Agreements talks about, the domestication of the human. When you behave according to the rules of the house, you get a cookie. I mean, what do you do with a dog? If the dog is nice, the dog's getting cookies, and if the dog is not nice, the dog is scolded at or even slapped. Well, it's basically, unfortunately, no different with the humans. So when you play according to the rules, meaning when you behave, when you don't continue to cry and this and that and such and so, ask for attention, blah, 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 you get your favorite food. And usually it starts with the cookie, but usually it ends up with ice cream. Also, because it's just, mushy and soft, macaroni and cheese. It's mushy, it's lukewarm, it's soft, it's easy to bite, and swallow it. And what does it remind the child of? It reminds the child of the first food that they got, the breast milk or the bottled milk. It's just lukewarm, it's a little bit sweet, and it just tastes good. And that's why, that's giving comfort. And that's why a lot of food go back to that same idea about food. It's comfort food. It wants to make the food helps you to be comfortable. So as a child, you were raised in that process to soothe you, to behave. You got food, and you're still doing that. It's a behavior that you're doing as a child that creates a belief about yourself, and you turn that into a habit because it happened so often as a child. You take that with you and you still do it today. When something triggers you, you feel you need to soothe, you need to comfort yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You do it to yourself. A lot of this stems from the abandonment issues that we had as a child also. You can have the real physical hurt, but there's also the mental hurt, the abandonment or the perceived abandonment of a child. Sometimes it's true abandonment, like the parent has to work. There's only one parent. The parent has to work, and the child is just, there's a babysitter. To a young child, that may feel as an abandon. Where's my mommy going? She doesn't love me more, and now she's leaving me, not understanding that the parent, usually in the evening, perhaps needs to work a job to earn some extra money. The child, if not fully explained and really understanding it, which is hard for a young child because it's all emotions, there is no logic. And what is money? The child has no clue about that. This is perceived as an emotion, as an abandonment. And that can cut really deep in the child. And that is creating a feeling about I'm not good enough, or I'm being rejected. Those are deep, deep feelings for a child, and they translate themselves in beliefs. I'm not good enough. And you take that with you unless it's stopped. And often it is not, because you don't think about it anymore. Nobody thinks about it, but it's murmuring in the background. It's like in the crock pot. So the abandonment is a really deep issue. Not living up to the expectations of a parent, being compared with a sibling or to a sibling, being compared to a friend, being compared or not accepted as a good enough child in school. All those kind of issues make you feel as a little child that you're not good enough and that you are being rejected by the parent. As a young kid, you have your preferences. You like this, you don't like that. If that goes against the grain of the parent and they tell you so, why can't you be more like your brother or whatever, you feel you are rejected. Now, in kindergarten, when you come in a little bit damaged or with an ease of triggers, you might be then already at the age of 4, perhaps 5, subject to being bullied. Now, that doesn't really work so good for you, because being bullied is very hurtful and starts to create beliefs. The child creates beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm rejected. I'm different. And what I want is not available in this class. I'm different. I'm different. And if there's anything that we want to be as a child, we want to be the same. We want to have that familiar feeling with our friends in school, with anything. And it starts already younger, when it's still a child, watching the same movie, listening to the same kind of lullaby, being told the same story, being picked up in a certain way, etc. It's the familiarity that brings the comfort. What is unfamiliar, what is new, is for a lot of kids in the beginning scary, unless they're brave and they are encouraged by their parents and they see that it's good and that they feel the support from the parent. Another thing is not being accepted as a child by the parent. There is a very thin line there. But as a child, when you don't fully feel accepted, it's hard to accept yourself. If the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, if they don't give you the feeling that you are totally unconditionally accepted, how the hell can you accept yourself? There is this gap. There is this lack. So you create, again, that belief. I'm not good enough. I feel rejected. I'm different. What I want is not available. those are the 4 pillars that come back over and over and over again in different flavors, sizes, colors. Any child can have one or various of those pillars. And if it is not dealing with it, if the parents don't support the child 100% unconditionally, as the child is, I mean, we all make mistakes as a child, and then, we're talked. But if we are hurt by the parent, that's a whole different ballgame. But if we are talked with by the parent, it's a different ballgame. We create an understanding for the kid. Understand, understanding. Dissect the word. So those early childhood beliefs, habits, they are not stopped. You are not looking back at them now as an adult and going like, oh, that's why. No, you're not. Because the rule of the mind, the task of the mind, is to keep you away from pain and lead you to pleasure. That's what it's supposed to do. So it will never easily go back. You say like, well, I can do that myself. I don't need therapy. I can figure it out myself. And I just always go like, okay, that's good. Good luck to you. You're going to have a hard time because the mind will not take you back just like that. What can I say that I may be able to do that? And I don't know, because the mind is still tricky. But I have a much better chance helping you, because what I do, I take you into hypnosis. So I set your conscious mind aside and we have a look. I facilitate, you have a look at what took place in your early childhood that is now lodged in your subconscious mind. We take a look at that and we deal with that. And we get rid of that. We eliminate it, erase it, cut it out. That's what we do, and we build new beliefs to help you move forward into a glorious life. So I just wanted to point out a little deeper that it's really not about the food, because the food is actually just a big band-aid over everything, suppressing the emotions down into the stomach. Well, you can eat as much as you want to, and unfortunately, emotional eaters, they do. But it's not gonna stop the pain. The pain from your childhood, how you suffered as a child mentally. That gap is not filled with food, no matter what the kind of food is, and no matter how much food and how often throughout the day. And yes, it's very painful when others who do not understand what I just talked about comment on the amount of food that you're eating. Again? You're hungry again? You're always eating again? You're eating way too much? That is very painful, because they don't understand, which as an emotional eater drives you back even more into, how do you call that? A hermit state. You withdraw completely, and that's the last thing you want to do. You want to have the compassion, understanding of your surroundings, and unfortunately, they don't understand it. They cannot give it. So you are not getting it. Painful, very painful. If you want to contact me, you want to talk with me, please do. Call me, message me on Facebook direct. Let's talk. Let's bring this out and let me see how I can help you. Because most likely I will. In just a few sessions, not 10, 12, a few sessions, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, I can help you. And then You're home free sailing. So I appreciate you listening in today. Thank you so very much. Remember the disclaimer, this is everything I've learned from my fantastic mentors. Put my sauce over it, serving it to you. You like it, press the button. You haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you want to pass it on to somebody who you feel could benefit, please do. I would appreciate that. And if you don't care for my content in this video or any of the videos, that's okay. I'm not here to please the world, but I love you anyway. So thank you very much for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. We'll talk again tomorrow.